Hello, good people. Welcome back to the Remote Chick. And in this video, I will be sharing with you 4 reasons why you may be struggling to land a remote job as an African. So let's get started. The number one reason why we're struggling to land remote jobs as Africans is we don't want to learn in-demand remote work skills. I have seen this a number of times, and even me, when I studied as a virtual assistant, I didn't want to learn about what it took to become a VA. I didn't want to even pay for the course. And so we don't want to invest our time, we don't want to invest our money, but we expect things to happen. I think there's this mentality that we have as Africans that, oh, we're on the other side of the world, people should hire us just because. No, it doesn't work like that. People hire people who are qualified. So this mindset of saying, oh, I'm on the other side of the world, someone should show pity on me. No, 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 no. That's not enough. That's not going to get you employed for a particular role. You always have to think, how can I get skilled? So let's say I want to become a video editor. What tools do I need to learn to get good at video editing? And I know there's someone already saying, Joy, but it's going to take me time. But the time is going to pass anyway. The time is going to pass. You're going to spend 6 months, maybe 3 months, 1 year perfecting your skill, but still the year is going to come to an end. As I speak right now, we're already in March. If you started in January and you were learning maybe a particular skill, let's say email marketing, you would be very far right now. There's so much you would have worked on. I think even you would be working on your portfolio and vying a couple of clients who you want to pitch to. So that's the number one reason. Also, in regards to learning an in-demand remote work skill, we have a hard time pivoting. I go to school maybe for accounting, and accounting doesn't work out. I have my bachelor's degree in accounting. I went to maybe Uganda Christian University. I'm Ugandan if you're watching this video and you're wondering where I'm from. I'm Ugandan, so I went to school. I have my bachelor's degree in accounting, and accounting is not working out. The roles, they're paying pennies, but there's an opportunity to learn email marketing, and I'm thinking to myself, no, I shouldn't pivot. Why? Why are you stuck? I think that's what holds majority of us Africans behind. So you should be able to be flexible. If one thing is not working out, my dear, we recalculate the route just like GPS says. So that's the number one reason we're having a hard time learning in-demand remote work skills. We don't want to spend our time. We don't want to spend our money. Even for people who have money, they don't want to invest in a course because they're like, the time is going to pass anyway. But in everything in life, it's going to cost you something. And when it comes to learning a skill, it will cost you time and money in whatever endeavors. So I hope this helps someone. So learn an in-demand remote work skill today so that you can get that remote job that you're seeking. The second reason we are struggling to find remote work opportunities as Africans is we believe that these opportunities are scam. We don't believe that this is something that can happen to us in an African country. We always read about remote work, but it looks like, you know what? These are opportunities for people abroad. Well, I'm here to tell you that there's so many applicants who are employed working remotely. I am employed. You must be knowing someone, or you've heard about someone sharing this on the internet. There are people who work remotely every day and they're located in African countries. Every time I go to Nairobi, I'm amused by the remote work space in Nairobi. People literally flying to work in Nairobi. Digital nomads do exist around the world. And also there are Kenyans who work remotely every day. And when I started working remotely and started sharing my experience on TikTok, I got so many DMs of people saying, Joy, are you for real? You've been doing this for the last 4 years? Yes, I have been doing this for the last 4 years. So this mindset that these are scam opportunities, and I must admit that they do exist, like the scammers and the conmen, they do exist. But most times, if someone is going to scam you for an opportunity for work, they will ask you for money. That's the first red flag. Immediately someone says to you, pay $17 and then you get this opportunity for work. That's when you start running. You're like, you know what? This is scam. Because if it was very easy as paying $17 to get an opportunity that's going to pay you $1,000 or $2,000, don't you think everybody would be employed? I think about it like this. Everyone would be saying, you get a remote job, you get a remote job, you get a remote job. Just like the way Oprah was saying, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. If it was that easy, everybody would be employed. But you don't need to pay any money for an opportunity for work because you're unemployed. And I'm seeking a remote work opportunity from you. Why are you taking the little money that I have so that you can pay me more money? It doesn't make sense. So Even when the scammers exist, genuine opportunities do exist. So you should drop that mindset and always think that how can I be skilled so I can attract genuine opportunities rather than paying a cup of change, a couple of dollars for a remote work opportunity. The third reason we're struggling to land remote jobs as Africans is we are listening to our parents. And I mean this in good faith because I have a good relationship with my parents. However, when I wanted to venture into remote work and I shared with my mom and I said, Mommy, this is something I want to get into. I want to drop my 9-to-5 job and get into remote work. The whole time she's listening to me like, Joy, please, why would you do that? And I'm explaining to her, Mommy, what these people are paying me per month, this person is paying me weekly. So my salary 4 times, but that wasn't enough for her. Because our parents, they're only as knowledgeable as what they have gone through. They have their experiences. They only know what they know for their current period of time. But things have changed right now. Remote work opportunities do exist. And that's one of the ways you can build a career. You can build a career in the remote work space. And it's very, very different from building a career in the traditional space. But our parents only know the traditional space when it comes to work. So when you share with them and say, hey, this is something I want to venture into, they can hold you back sometimes and if they're not supportive. But yet you believe and you actually see that, you know what, this won't work out. But because I've said to you, no, don't get into this. And I'm speaking to those people who really, really, really go and search for insight from their parents and whose parents are very strong-willed. If your parents are very, very strong-willed, sometimes they will hold you back a lot. However, if your parents trust you and they trust the process and they trust God to actually lead you, then they can be open-minded to the fact. But if you're the kind of person who is very dependent on their insight, and if you're not aligned with them, you feel like, oh my God, I'm off the wagon, I don't know if this is going to be successful. I'm speaking to you in this video. You don't need to rely on them if this is something you believe or it's going to work out. I know they mean it in love, but they're not knowledgeable about that space that you want to venture into. So I get back to my story again. If I had listened to my mom, and she loves me so much, Mommy, I love you for listening to this, I don't even know if I would have grown in my career as a virtual assistant, as a podcast manager, and now as a comms professional. I don't know. And all those roles that I've mentioned to you, they're remote. I don't know if I would have gotten this far. And looking at the trajectory of my life when I was working my 9-to-5 and working remotely right now, guys, if you know me in person, you know things are different. So I would say to you, don't rely on your parents. Don't listen to your parents a lot on matters that they cannot understand or they don't have experience on. Go out and look which people are working remotely. How can I learn from them? But also, I've seen that if you get better at what you're doing and they see that you're earning money from it, I'm telling you, then it's gonna stress you. Because when my parents started saying that, I wasn't calling them saying, I need some money for this and this, or Mommy, I'm broke, Mommy, this and this, Daddy, all of that, like so many stories for them. They would actually call and be like, oh, you have been working remotely, tell me, how is work going? My mom reached the point when she knew literally every client's name. How is Jocelyn? How is Laura? And she asked about them like as if they are her kids on a phone call. She started understanding what I was doing for work. She started telling people, oh, Joy works remotely. Joy works digitally. She's always on her computer. You can't call her during these working hours because she'll be working with these Americans in the US. She is very proud of me right now. But that wouldn't have been possible if I had listened to her. Like, I would still be struggling in my 9-to-5 because it was very hard for me to even like grow there. The past year working in my 9-to-5, I was like, no, this is not for me. I'm not growing in this career. This is not for me. So please, I know your parents may mean well for you when it comes to looking for opportunities for work, but don't listen to your parents. Don't listen to them. They only know what they know. If you want to get into a particular field in regards to remote work, pursue it relentlessly. And when they see the results, they'll be like, you know what? This is actually working out. Joy was right. Yeah, they will be proud about you. So yeah. The fourth and final reason we are struggling to find remote work opportunities as Africans is we have poor presentation. And I mean this in terms of communication, written and spoken communication. That's something we are struggling with as Africans. When I started sharing on my TikTok, people would email me because I didn't want so many DMs at that time. I would say, just send me an email, joy@theremotechick.com. Let's talk about what field you want to get into when it comes to remote work, or what remote work opportunity you're seeking for. Let's get straight into it in the emails. And people will email me, and the whole time I would read the email and I'm trying to figure out what the person is saying, and they're written to me, and all of it maybe is in lowercase or all of it is in uppercase. And I was like, wow, we're having a very, very, very big problem when it comes to written communication. And people abroad, especially those who are learned, they're very articulate with the way they communicate. So if you are looking for an opportunity for work abroad, in the remote work space, you need to find a way to perfect your written communication. We struggle with that as Africans because of maybe we have ended in maybe a particular grade, maybe ended in senior 4, ended in senior 6. But I'm going to tell you right now, ChatGPT came to save us. Hallelujah to ChatGPT. ChatGPT came to save us. So if you write an email, just put it in ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to rephrase it for you. Ask ChatGPT that, can you make this grammatically correct? I do that a number of times because someone will email me with lots of jargon. And I'm like, I want to get back at them. I want to respond to them with the same frequency, the same energy. And I put it into ChatGPT. And the email is sent. And they will never know that you actually use ChatGPT. So we need to perfect our written communication as Africans, even the way we speak. And when it comes to speaking, I spoke about this in a couple of videos back. Please employ code switching. I support code switching 101%. If you need to speak like some American who landed a few days ago in Uganda or whatever African country, speak like that. I genuinely support that because when I started working with marketing and I would talk normally like an African, I would have my colleagues saying, Joy, what are you saying? We don't get you clearly. And I'm like, what? What do you mean you don't get me clearly? So I started code switching. I have a work accent and I have an accent that I speak where I normally use with my friends. It doesn't hurt. We need to perfect our written and spoken communication as Africans because that's holding us back. Because in any line of work, if you work remotely, most of the communication will be happening through written, spoken, meeting, and all of that. Like, you need to communicate with your employers. You'll be sending them Slack messages. You'll be sending them Voxer. Voxer is as an app. It's like a walkie-talkie app. You'll be speaking to them through the app. And so if you're not articulate, it makes you look very unprofessional. So we need to work on our presentation. It matters a lot. Also, when it comes to meetings, we have a meeting that's going to happen maybe at 8 p.m. Remember, it's usually happening nighttime because there's a lot going on in our countries and also the time zone. Maybe the dogs are barking. So it's dark. It's nighttime. And you want to have a meeting in your room that's very dark. Guys, these people are paying thousands of dollars for this particular role. And you're appearing on the Zoom and they can't see you. No. It comes up as very, very unprofessional. And I think that's something we're struggling with as Africans. So get a light or move to a room that has better light, because as Africans, there's a way we'll appear on camera. So I always say this, it's when someone says to me, Joy, I want to work remotely. I've done this for a long period of time. I'm struggling to get into this particular space. I say, perfect your written and spoken communication. Perfect it 100% because it's going to open doors for you. And drop that timidness. Because when people employ you from abroad, they trust that you're an expert. Drop that timidness today. Always speak up in meetings and share your opinion on a matter. You don't have to hold back a bit. I noticed that when we work in the traditional space in most African countries, we're always waiting for orders from the boss. We're always waiting for them to say, okay, now you can move like this. You should execute on this. No. In my line of work, they're always waiting for me to execute on things they haven't even spoken about. They're looking for me to be like, oh, I thought about this. This is how we're going to improve our systems. It's going to create efficiency for us. And I'm thinking we should implement on this. And when I bring up an opinion, I look like a team player. I look like, you know what? I want this company to grow. And my employers see value in me. So you should apply the same tactics if you're looking for a remote work opportunity as an African. Perfect your written and spoken communication. Perfect it today. And remember, ChatGPT is your friend. Please use ChatGPT to the fullest to send out your emails And also, don't forget to learn that in-demand remote work skill. I hope this video helps someone. If you're an African who wants to work remotely, it is possible today, but you just have to get better at learning the skills and other tactics that you need to get into the remote work space. I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for joining me. Please share this with an African who wants to work remotely, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys. Bye.